She buys dinner for $1, feeling like there's more to name. People outside made a bed, tucked the corners in their place. I am nobody's mistake. Their words don't match her tongue. She can be anyone she wants. 3 clicks for the stray out there. Pair of shoes led me somewhere. She won't go home. It's 'cause she knows it will all end when she's alone. It's never easy. Chasing a tornado.
Hi, my name is Mandy and I'm not scared to dream. Personally, I have a dream, and not only that, but I have a huge dream of working in the music industry, which is funny because my background does not support that. Not only do my parents are not in the music industry, I'm also not typically the kind of person who's in the music industry, this look, except the bangs. I feel like the bangs are kind of on brand. And then third of all, obviously, my accent kind of tells you a lot of things, which is I'm from Australia. Australia's not typically the place where you get a lot of mainstream music. I mean, other than outliers like Troye Sivan, Kylie Minogue, the Queen herself. But again, we tend to have some differences between me and them, so hate to point out the obvious. I have a dream, and I thought, what a better way to kind of explore it or, manifest it than making a video on it, because I feel like in my personal life I'm kind of scared to talk about it, especially with like peers. I think I have this fear where if I speak it out loud I kind of ruin it for myself, that I put my expectation way too high, and if I talk about it it won't happen. But I think living that way kind of subdues my intention to achieve it, which I want to avoid because I want to have that dream. The word manifestation comes up prominently when you talk about dreams and your goals that you want to achieve. Psychology today talks about manifesting being this idea through the power of belief. We can actively think a goal into becoming reality, which I think is kind of spot on, where manifestation is kind of about, thinking about a goal constantly, being determined to achieve it. That kind of vibe. I think people tend to think of manifestation as this kind of like you repeat it 10 times a day and it'll come true. But I think people also, when they think about it that way, they tend to miss the point where manifestation is kind of choosing this goal rather than just letting things happen. Obviously, if that's your life, that's so cool. I could not. I'm such a controlling freak. I think when people think of manifestation as that kind of minimal concept, it takes away the power of it. The irony right now is that I'm scared to talk about it when there's people passing by, so that's kind of exactly why I made this YouTube channel, is kind of to manifest, where I'm trying to, create a creative outlet where I'm not being, I'm not just focusing on academics. Obviously, academics as a kind of safety backup, I think that's just a smart choice, especially with, my circumstances. But again, this YouTube channel has honestly been so fun, even though I've kind of been slacking a bit, which is not great. If you scroll back, I think I haven't posted for 3 months from I don't know. I started posting in mid-year, and I did 2 videos, and I stopped, went overseas, came back, made a video about that. And I posted a video recently, 2 videos recently actually. So not too bad, not too bad. I'm actually doing pretty well. And then this video, obviously. But yeah, so have a watch of those if you want to like see more of me, because you know I am that girl. But yeah, I think YouTube is really cool to just make videos and post. I kind of just keep it on a down low though, because again, the irony of me being scared to like reach it, but talking about it on a platform that anyone can access, that's just me. I'm a very complex person. I think when you talk about like dreams, especially my dream, where it's such a public dream, is the topic of embarrassment also comes up. I was approached by this idea of embarrassment, or not being embarrassed, on TikTok actually, because I'm actually chronically online. It's so bad, but TikTok has some great videos about like just not being cringy, like especially those core videos. Dude, people who make core videos are actually like so talented in like media and stuff like that. I could never, because I tried to make a core video and it was just me like copy and pasting like basically already pre-existing stuff. But there is just this catharsis, out of body experience when you watch a good core video. And there was this specific one, maybe I'll show you in a second, but it was like be cringy, be fast, do everything you want. Kind of, that's like the type of idea that message is kind of giving. And I was like, wait, this is actually so real. Like actually do stuff, like actually do stuff instead of being so scared. I think I'm gonna get to this point later, but we live such a short life. There's no point in being scared. When you look at people online, celebrities especially, people we look up to, they had to, sacrifice some of their dignity. I don't know if that's the best term, but like they basically had to sacrifice this privacy, they previously held to achieve this platform. You look at like Lady Gaga and Chaperone, there's like videos of them pre-famous, sorry, I'm gonna sneeze, pre-famous, performing on the small stages with only like 10 people in the crowd. But I think that's sick. You had to like actually fight for it. And I think that's the best part about having a dream is, it sounds so stereotypical, but literally the journey is what makes it. And if the journey, if I get to the goal, the journey is worth it. Scared me. I personally like to think of my own past experiences, thinking back to embarrassing moments of being like, yeah, they were embarrassing, but you end up getting what you wanted from those moments. Like, for example, about to be very transparent right now, but a fun fact, but a very, very sad fact, is that years ago, when I was like 12, so like ages ago, when I was like 12, 13, I was kind of that vibe where it's like a friend to all is a friend to none. Ooh, Taylor Swift lyric, yep. Yeah, that was kind of my vibe. And then there was these few people in particular that I was kind of drawn to, but I think I got too scared to actually talk, which is really funny because you're not going to do anything by doing nothing. But just like, for example, I would sit next to them. Like, I would make it clear I want to be friends with them. I'm like, actually, like when I look back, I'm like, I was a freak. Like, I was such a freak. Yeah, I would just sit next to them and like not talk. But it like, that in itself, kind of manifested into something else where those people started talking bad about me, which I kind of like, not gonna lie, I kind of understand, even though that was straight up just bullying. That was straight up just bullying, but I also understand why I was bullied, which is a crazy statement. But yeah, I would just sit next to them and do nothing. I was that little, like, I was like a shadow, And moments like those make you realize, like, you don't want to be that freaking shadow. You want substance. You want to, you already have such, I guess, in terms of overall, you already have such limited time. I mean, when you break down your life, things just get slimmer and slimmer. Like, by the time you're 30, you better be thinking about, either you're going to have a family or not. By 60, you probably should think, how is your retirement going to plan out? Like, things just start jumping you as you age. Again, back to being bullied. Yeah, moments like those kind of make you realize you want more. You want more. And not only that, I think, again, like, I would not, crazy statement again, but I would not take away that experience from me, because it also led me to people that mean so much to me, great people who actually were worth it. That idea of going through hardship to achieve the better thing that you wanted, but in a much better state, is exactly what I want for my dream. I have like plenty other moments like that because I live a very embarrassing life. Like, I have to admit to myself, but I live a very embarrassing life where I was a very loud child. But again, I see, moments where those moments count. They change something for me for the better. But again, this could be like a perspective thing that I am in, because not gonna lie, like only like a few months ago, I was probably not in the best state. I think last year I was not in the best state in my life because I was having hella imposter syndrome at music school. Yes, I was in music school, but I left because that was making me so sad. And I think just changing my life, making those changes really helped. But again, from that moment, I see some good where it's like, okay, now I've realized, I still want this dream, but it can't be my main focus, or lose that spark. I lose that kind of energy to make life work for it if I make my life all about it, which is kind of ironic because I want my life to be all about it, but I want it in a way where I'm obviously earning money, not in a way where I'm paying them to make it about my life. Letting yourself go. I think everyone needs to stop caring in their life. I think people need to put themselves first in a way that makes them feel good, because not only having a dream, it's about making your life better, or whatever it is that you want to achieve, better in a place, obviously, but it's also about, putting yourself first, actually being determined for once in your life and getting the thing you want. And for me, that's music. I'm gonna get music. And it also has to do with identity as well. People tend to avoid their dream and not realizing that you're also taking pieces of yourself away. And thus you're a version of yourself where it's not very full, very true. And personally, I feel that's such a sad way to live, especially since, again, we live such a short life where you only have this certain amount of time to think about what you can achieve, and then this certain amount of time to achieve it, and then this certain amount of time to, peak, and then this certain amount of time to reminisce. And to take away, some time from any of those moments, you're doing yourself a disservice and living a very, not exactly lackluster, but not the life you want to live. I saw this video by Profound Pondering where he was talking about being ashamed of yourself. I think that's actually such a key part, is with dreams being a part of your identity. Being ashamed of that dream is also being ashamed of yourself. Again, really sad. Like, I don't mean to shame people who do, but I think life is so hard that you should afford yourself some patience in time in achieving that, because it does take time. But again, at the same time, I'm not a pro. I haven't got my dream yet. Haven't yet, keyword yet. I'm not a pro, obviously. And I do have some privilege where I am young right now, and I have some resources, such as Facebook Marketplace, to get some cheap stuff. I love Facebook Marketplace. I die for Facebook Marketplace, because sometimes people are really nice, and you're like, damn, that's good in humanity. Don't be ashamed. Have fun. Chase it. It's your only life. You only get this. This is the only thing that's promised. Again, the only thing that's really promised is death. Let's be real. The only thing promised is death. But probably the second most promised is that you have a life. As long as you're breathing, you're looking around, or not, as long as you're breathing really and thinking, life is promised to you. And take it. You probably have such a beautiful life where you should be living to your most. And I think that's exactly what my circumstance is if I shift my perspective. Again, this has everything to do with perspective. And I want to see it that way. I don't want to repeat last year. And I think has done such tremendous good to me in a way where I'm actually doing things and actually going outside and actually, getting the haircut, getting the piercings, actually going outside, driving my car, meeting friends, being honest to myself, And I think you should do the same. Don't be afraid to dream. Bye-bye.